Welcome back. My name's Vicki-Lynne and this is Cooking Vegan with Vicki. It's getting cold and we all want some good comfort food. And when you went vegetarian, vegan, or even if you're just trying to eat a little less meat, this is the recipe for you. This is Shepherd's pie and we're using lentils and mushrooms to bulk it up and make it feel meaty, and fluffy mashed potatoes on top. I'm actually going to do it two ways. One with a sweet potato topping and one with a mashed potato topping. So the first thing we're going to do is, I already have my sweet potatoes in the oven. We're going to want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. And I have 2 sweet potatoes in just so you can see the difference. And then we're going to work on our lentils. So I have 1 cup of lentils. You probably need maybe a half a cup, but I'm going to cook this whole cup. This is what I had left over, and I just want to I'll cook extra and then just divvy it up into reusable containers. And then whenever I want to make tacos or anything, the lentils are already cooked. So we're going to put this in a pot on high. We're going to cook it for about 20 to 30 minutes, just depending on your stove and how fast it heats up. So we'll get those going. And then we're also want to get our potatoes going. I'm actually going to throw in a couple of cloves of garlic in my water just to fragrance it, because it always tastes great that way. So this is a super simple recipe. Normally you would use ground beef, but that's not what we're going to use. You can use TDP if you want, or a ground mock meat that they have. There's lots of great ones out there. Gardein has one, Trader Joe's has a really good one. So I've chopped up all our potatoes, and just remember, the smaller you chop them, the faster they'll cook. So we're gonna put that on the stove and get that going. This is kind of a hands-off kind of recipe. Put it on the back burner here. And we're gonna get that one going. So the next thing we need is our mushrooms. And this is gonna give it the meaty texture. So I'm just using a package of baby creminis. You can slice them however you want. You can leave big chunks, you can slice them thin. I do a little bit of both just so you get a nice little meaty. We're also going to be using a layer of corn, and I'm keeping it easy, just using some frozen corn that we're going to cook up. And we're going to have some garlic in this, an onion. I'm using some summer savory. I love summer savory. Can be hard to find. You can use regular, just savory. If you don't have it, leave it out. And some thyme to go with our garlic. And again, this is a super simple recipe. It makes enough that'll last you most of the week, if that's what you need. Great. So now we're going to move on to our onion. Get this all chopped up. Onion always imparts a really good flavor. And again, I'm going to cut this fine. Just a simple dice. You like bigger chunks, leave bigger chunks. Again, with all my recipes, make them your own. You do how you like. So everything else is prepped. We're going to go over to the stove and we're going to start cooking down. We have to wait for our lentils and our potatoes. All right, we're back. Our potatoes are all cooked, so we're just going to mash them and set them aside. And again, I left the skins on. If you don't like the skins, take the skins off, but lots of nutrients in there, so I leave them on. We're going to add a little bit of butter and some plant-based milk. So I'm using about 2 tablespoons of butter. If you don't want to use butter, you don't have to. You can make this without. but we do want them to be nice, light, and fluffy. So I've got about a half a cup of milk, but just keep adding until they're creamy and light and fluffy. That's what we want. All set. So we're going to set that aside. And I am just going to put the lid back on, keep them nice and warm. Perfect. So now we're just going to add a little bit of olive oil to our pan. And again, if you're oil free, just use some water. We're going to you can water saute this. Add in our onions. And we're going to let those cook down. Translucent. Now we'll add our garlic. And we just want to cook that until it's nice and fragrant. And turn down your heat a little bit. We don't want to burn our garlic. Just going to add a little bit of water. Now we're going to put in our mushrooms. We're going to let those cook down. So we want to keep cooking down our mushrooms. They're releasing some of their juices. So now we're going to add in some either amino acids or low sodium or tamari, low sodium soy sauce or tamari. And about a cup of chicken broth, veggie broth, and then we're going to add in our lentils. I would say about 2 cups, maybe. And now to this, we're going to salt and pepper. About a teaspoon of ground pepper. And about a tablespoon of the savory. And about a tablespoon of the thyme. And again, if you have other spices that you prefer using, use those. We're just flavoring it. This all blended in. Oh, looks so good. It smells so good. And then our last step is we're going to add in our slurry. So I have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. You could use arrowroot, and just enough to make it into a mix, so about 3 tablespoons of water. And then we're going to start stirring this in. And as you can tell, it's thickening up. We'll still need to cook it for a couple of minutes. If it gets too thick, just add some more water. But we want it to kind of be like a gravy that holds this all together. And we're going to turn it off. And now we're going to add a little our spinach. So just a couple of handfuls of spinach. I'm going to add a little bit of water because it's thickening up a little too much. We're all set to assemble now, so we're just going to start with our mushroom and lentil. Also, give it a taste. I already checked this just for seasoning, just in case it needs anything. So we're going to add this to the bottom. This is so comforting. Oh my goodness. I'm truly excited. This is has to be one of my favorite recipes. Great. Good for potlucks too. So I have 2 sweet potatoes that I cooked just because I'm going to show you both ways. So you could do it with regular potatoes or sweet potatoes. We're going to top it with, oh, almost forgot. We have corn. So I've just cooked some frozen corn and we're going to add a layer of corn. You could use green peas, you could use carrots. Growing up, my mother actually used to use sliced carrots all the time. Mind you, hers wasn't vegan. There we go. So add some more color, punch up the flavor. So now I'm going to add the sweet potatoes on one end. Okay. we'll just use it all. Okay. Okay, we're just going to top it off with a little bit of cracked black pepper. And there we go. I'm going to put it in the oven at 400 degrees just to warm it through and to kind of brown the potatoes, which would be about 20-25 minutes. So our shepherd's pies come out of the oven. Doesn't it look great? I'm just going to serve up some. Sure, I get all those mushrooms and lentils. Look how lovely that looks. Perfect for any dinner. Thanks again, guys, for stopping by. Hope you're enjoying these recipes. If you are, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give it a big thumbs up, and share it with a friend. Thanks. See you soon.